25 gallons per minute. So I got 5 minutes. And that's just a small hand line going in. If I have to do anything major, it's like, that's it, it's done. So I can't encourage, we're getting good press with this as far as through the, what I will call the emergency callback system that we have, because Reverse 911 is a brand name, but you may or may not have got me around the always so I can do that. But we called all the community through that reverse calling system that we have through our 911 system, and a lot of people complied with that. They're helping us out. They're actually getting out there and doing this. But you know, we are trying to get out there. But you know, again, we have calls all day long. We'll average sometimes, you know, anywhere from about 8 to 12 calls a day. You factor in the time it takes to get to the hospital, because 60 to 65% of my calls are EMS. It's about a 1.5 to 2 hour turnaround time. Do the math. I don't have a lot of staff to be able to do this. We did go out and hit it hard early on, because we will have enough support, we believe, with the FEMA claim. In fact, I've got to go to a meeting tonight for just that. But if you can encourage people to do that, that would be great.
So a question, and I know on my street that I can do the fire hydrant from the sidewalk all the way around the fire hydrant, but I cannot get through that huge mound
of snow
to the road.
That's okay, because I'm going to tell you, you know what our strategy is with that? I mean, we grab the hose, roll over the hill, and fall on top of the fire hydrant and put it on. Seriously, I mean, that's what we do. We don't care as long as it's open. Because if we're sitting there with a burning house doing this, and I talked about our mutual aid structure. I went to a fire in Vernon Hills Thursday morning, townhouse fire that we had, and it was tough. I mean, we had Vernon Hills Police and the first engine company that was up there shoveling out the hydrant, trying to get what we call a positive water supply. It's horrible this time of year, and we only get these pocket little things, so it's not like it's a big deal. I mean, if the snow's that high, we'll get through it. We just need to see the steam report, which is the big cap that's on there. No more questions, by the way. You don't have to take notes. and you know, and the side ports, and that's it. So as long as we can see the top of that and basically get to it, that's fine. And if we have to roll over the snow hill, we don't care, or go around on the sidewalk. We just got to get at it, so that's fine.
Okay, because I know that ideally you want it to go from the road.
It'd be perfect, yeah,
but I know that even with my large snow blower, that's impossible.
Yeah, this happened to be in Ambria, right on Ambria Drive, and that is literally the streets right here back to that hydrant. So they were digging them out. And that stuff was powder, so it was pretty easy. Boy, it's when it starts to get a little bit of, you know, snowpack from the salt from the street and everything else. Now, this week is going to be tough. So, yes, sir.
I was just curious, on this continuing education that you guys go through, every community obviously goes through that same continuing education. It's all the same around. Okay.
In the northwest suburban area, as you get in more into the rural areas, they're pretty much hands-off. And you'll find most rural departments are Class 8, Class 9 departments. They really just can't do it. They don't have the resources. You know, I've got departments in the state. I was the president of the Illinois Fire Chiefs last year, and so I traveled the state quite a bit. And I'll tell you, I mean, they got $1,500 a year, you know, budgets, and that's to try to put fuel in the rig. But they might run, you know, 10 calls a year.
So you come from Buffalo Grove? Because I went to Buffalo Grove, so I was just curious.
Yeah, I graduated from Buffalo Grove High School.
Okay.
So you share in that training when they dive in the water and they
everything.
That fire with the airplane over there, or whatever they have that open.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the CAF site, the Combined Area Fire Training
Site.
Site.
Yeah, you should see it over there. I've watched
we built that. That's a great facility. But we can't get there from Mundelein. We will go down there for very, very specialized stuff. We have a regional training that we do, but they use that day to day.
Yeah.
Now, would I love to duplicate that here? Yeah, that site that I know not everybody's familiar with, it's on Deerfield Parkway in Buffalo Grove. If you happen to get down that way and look at it, it's about a 2.5 acre site, cost about $4 million.
Half of a plane like sitting there.
That actually happens to be, who's the famous singer, Vegas singer? No, Wayne Newton. It's Wayne Newton's airplane. He actually donated that to us.
You just drive by and you're like, what the heck is that? And then when if you know about it, it is training for the firefighters. And then Green Lake Pond is, you can see them every once in a while. They're diving in very deep. It's very deep water actually. They fish there, but they also train. The divers come and train. And
that's 4 communities that got together and said, this is important for us to have that. And we put it together.
Kids watched it once. It's very cool to watch them dive. So
yeah, it's a pretty neat facility. So.
You know what though, I gotta give you a bone of contention.
Excellent. I love bone of contention.
Make it a quick one.
I apologize.
I talked fast, but
right. No.
Time for me to go. Sorry.
You know what, no, I really, I'm kind of, it's not you so much as everybody. I'm really disgusted by the fact that you would say $4 million is a lot of money, or $1 million is a lot of money. If one, I mean, if one building burns down, or one house burns down, or 2 or 3 people die in that house because we don't have the equipment to get them saved, if a child dies because we couldn't get there in time, how much is that $1 million?
I know.
And people just, and again, I gave you a little bit of my background, but people don't realize that I believe, now the police is important, but there is no single more important group in a community than the fire department. I mean, I've personally experienced it where, 20 years or whatever it was, 15 years after my father-in-law retired from the fire department, and he was in Skokie, we lived in Wheeling. You still had 20 firemen, they were still in their dress uniforms, and they were at that funeral. And not only were they at that funeral, they were calling my mother-in-law for several months after. Hey, you need the lawn cut? Are things okay? I mean, that's the kind of community that the fire department brings. $1 million, I mean, granted, I can't write the check, but you know what? You guys are the ones who actually use the stuff that you get, and it saves lives, period.
So, without doubt, and I appreciate the compliment. I think we do it together with law enforcement. I mean, we partner together very well. I mean, all 3 of the major departments in any community, public works, fire, and police, I mean, we all have to live off of each other. You saw that rating schedule. My dispatch is controlled by the police department, my water's controlled by public works, and then there's me. But, no, and I appreciate that. I think I wanted to make sure everybody understood, hey, here's what it costs, and we respect it. And
we had a chance to build a great training center on Route 12. Dado had the land. Right. We had everything set up. It was right after 9/11. Went for the money, and everybody said no.
Yeah, I was a part of that.
And they said no.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing? I'm sorry.
Can I just add one thing? I'm a blood donor, and I do Alex, which is...
Yes, do Alex, boy.
Okay,
Alex
you know what I'm
good.
talking about.
Yes.
And probably no one else knows what that is, but if you can give every 8 weeks, it does save people's lives. It takes 20 minutes or a half hour of your time, and not enough people do give. Even if you are A positive or B positive or O positive, it does save other... It really is important to give blood. And just...
We gave on Monday.
Okay.
Where do you go around here to give?
Okay, I'll tell you about that real quick. Well, now Lake Bluff or Lake Zurich are the only 2 donor centers where you can walk in.
You can go to a Life Source Center.
Right.
I've been giving since I've been 18, and I just
You're in a gallon.
I'm O negative. I just have been. I'm a real big believer. I think it's something that you just takes a little bit of your time. I really, really believe it's something that you should give. It's something you don't have to pay for. It's just something you don't have to. Everybody can do it. That's what I really feel. And I've always felt that way. It just takes a little bit of your time. Just eat something beforehand. If you really can't give, they will tell you. It's gotten simpler. It's all on the computer, basically. It's not 15,000 questions anymore. It goes a lot simpler. I don't know. People, you can go online and they'll tell you, like, right afterwards what your cholesterol is, everything.
Everything, yeah.
And Life Source, they really do need your blood, and they'll ask you if you want to give it to somebody. I once went in, there was a big drive for a fire person. If you want to donate, I said yes. I can't tell you, I do Alex because of my blood type.
I'm O neg too.
So I really, really believe in it. That takes a little bit longer. There's nothing to be afraid of, really.
We're trying to set up a schedule now where it will occur in Mundelein every 8 weeks. We're working with the high school, just met with Dr. Ware not but a month ago. We're going to start having them not on Saturdays, but actually during the weekday, so that the kids can get involved, because we're leaving scholarship money. In fact, the high school was entitled to up to $6,000 a year in scholarship money by just running blood drives, and they weren't doing it.
Stevenson does it.
Stevenson does it, Carmel does it, and so we're trying to do that. And also, we're trying to get involved with Santa Maria, because they are a qualified Hispanic church, and they are leaving $6,000 a year on the table by not having blood drives. So we're trying to couple those together, so we'll have every 8 weeks, you will have a place to go in Mundelein. We're trying to do a mass calendar with it. We're going to push it out through Mundelein Community Connection once we get this all finalized. Mary, Yoho, and I, it's the 2 of us. We're trying to do the best we can. If you want to get involved in our blood committee, we would love to have some help, because it would really make a difference.
Do you have to actually see the blood?
Our high school kids did great. We did 92 units for high school.
More.
Well, yeah, we're trying to get over 100. Here, we want to have a goal. Antioch High School does 300 units, 4 drives a year from the kids.
What's the minimum age they can get?
16.
16 with